Hello, how is everyone doing? Thank you so much for being here once again. This is your weekly. My name is Elena Valdez. As you can tell, this is a newer channel here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment right here and ask you if you like my channel, if you like the content that I'm putting out, please like the content, please subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Okay, so this is the weekly. And really, this is for anyone who stumbles upon this. And in terms of timing, it doesn't really matter. It's timeless. So really, whenever you are drawn to this, that is the time that you were meant to be here. You know, I have people who ask me quite often, well, how is this even accurate for, I mean, you're doing a reading. It's so general, right? It's for so many people. So how do I know it's for me? First of all, you'll know if it's for you. It will either resonate or it will not. And also, the truth of the matter is everything is vibration, right? We're all energy. So you're not going to be attracted or drawn to something if you're not a vibrational match. So even when a reading doesn't resonate for you, there's something about it that is a match if you were drawn to it. Okay, now, I also want to take a little moment here to say that sound that you hear, that it's like you hear that? That is my awesome 1950s or 1940s, I don't know, whatever year this building was built. That is the kitchen vent. That anytime there's any wind, it just kind of does its thing. So there's not a child screaming, no one's crying in the background. I don't have anybody hidden in a dungeon anywhere. It's just the fan. Okay. All right, with that said, let's get started. I have pre-shuffled your cards. The setup is a little different this week. I had to improvise and kind of make a little bit of a makeshift situation here. So I will show you the cards as they come up. And okay, let's get started. So what we want to do is ask Spirit what the focus for this week is. For the collective, for the general, yes, but also for those who stumble upon this reading, because this is for you after all. Okay, so Spirit, what do we need to know? And what is something, or what are the themes that we need to be aware of this week? Okay, what do we need to focus on this week? Lots going on in the world right now, right? Lots of changes, lots of stuff. What do we need to focus on with so much going on in the world, and distractions and some wonderful things and some other not so wonderful things? What is it that we need to focus on this week, Spirit? Ooh, we got Princess of Cups. First one out of the gate. I'll get two more. I usually like to grab 3 cards for this reading. I need to know. Okay, I'll grab that and chip. There we go. That's 3. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so lots of learning, right? This is a week of lots of beginnings. Okay, so we've got, I hope you can see that. I think you can. We have Princess of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Prince of Swords. Okay, so this is beautiful. So we have the princess and the prince here. So there's a lot of new beginnings, a lot of focus here on, because remember the question we asked was, what is it that we need to be focusing on this week, right? And to some extent it's advice. It's an advice card, or they are advice cards, but they're not. It's a little different from an advice position in the sense that you're just being guided to focus on something specific, right? or maybe not specific, but thematically. And in this case, you got the Princess of Cups, which is all about the beginning of self-exploration when it comes to our emotions, the beginning of creative projects, the beginning of even love, right? Because cups, after all, it's all about emotions, and it's all about, you know, the heartstrings, right? And so as the princess, which by the way, the princess is the equivalent of a page in a tarot deck. So the page is the amateur. You know, he's just coming into something new. He's usually eager, right? So in this case, the princess, and remember, there's no gender here in my channel in terms of readings. I may default to he, she, they, just for ease of reading. But in terms of gender, just apply it in whatever way it resonates and makes sense for you. Okay, so in terms of the Princess of Cups, this week, there is an emphasis or a focus or a pull from spirit for you to be open to all the new things related to emotions and creativity, even children, right? Because when we're talking about the page here, we're talking about it can be children as well. So for some of you, we can have beginnings in, you know, perhaps you have a little one coming into your family this week that you need to focus on, like perhaps a new niece, nephew, or your very own child that will be tugging on your heartstrings here this week, and it'll require you to focus on them more than anything. So there's that. And then you get the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is, it's one of my favorite cards, and it's very beautiful. It represents the Piscean energy, and it can represent the other water signs as well. But again, we're talking about energies here. So the High Priestess is about our intuition. It's about the things that we hold sacred that we don't necessarily share with others, not necessarily because you're being secretive, right? Because I think sometimes people, and I'm saying this as a Scorpio moon, so those of you who are Scorpio and Scorpio moon will understand what I mean by this, but you know, there's a difference between being secretive and being private, right? And then just holding that which is sacred to you, hold to close to the vest, right? There really are there's small differentiation between those three things, right? We have on one hand, if we had, for example, the Seven of Swords, that could be more of a sneaky, secretive kind of card, right? But when I get the High Priestess, for me, this is sacred privacy, sacred treasures that you're keeping close to the vest. And so for me, the way I'm feeling this reading, the way it's starting to unfold, is that there's going to be a need for you to guard those new things that we're talking about, those new things that you're learning, whether, you know, the Princess of Cups themes that we were talking about. So whether it's a new project that you're coming into, whether it's your baby, a new baby that you just had, because remember, your baby can be your creative project. It can be a book you just wrote. It can be a new job that you're going after, something new that you're learning, or a certification that you're going after, right? This can apply to so many things. I think sometimes when we use the word creative, there's a misconception that means we have to be an artiste, or we have to learn how to play or know an instrument, or what have you. But creativity really includes all those things that are unique and from us, right? That we create from the deeper knowing of who we are, whether it's a contract that we're writing or whatever it is for you, okay? And what you're doing, what you're up to. So what this is saying is there's going to be a need here, and Spirit is advising this as your focus, to cocoon that which you are creating, to hold it sacredly, okay? So whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a new home, whatever it is for you, there is a focus here to cradle it and cocoon it from the world until you're ready for it to come out. And then you get the Prince of Swords, and the Prince of Swords is about communication, right? This is the Knight of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. And so there's a very beautiful progression here from the Princess of Cups to the High Priestess into the Prince of Swords. So the Prince of Swords is about communicating, right? It's about communication. And sometimes the Prince of Swords can come in fast and quick, right? And so there's going to be, you're going to want to communicate what it is that you're working on, right? You're going to feel the need to share it with the world. And I think the focus here, when you have the High Priestess cushion between these two energies, it's about keeping your information as sacred as possible and sharing it, communicating it, because you're going to need the support of other people, right? Like we create projects. We don't create a project in silo. Like we need others to help us bring our vision to fruition, right? Depending on what it is we're working on. And so what Spirit is saying for this week is whatever it is that you're holding sacred currently, whatever that is for you, take your time in terms of communicating it to the public, communicating to others. And this includes family members as well, by the way. And when you are ready, go ahead and communicate it, but take your time. Now, the Knight of Swords isn't always slow. Actually, in fact, it's usually not a slow energy. It's usually pretty rapid and fast. However, what I like about this particular deck is that the Prince of Swords in this deck is a little bit more controlled. And he seems to have, he's taking his time here. He's not rushing off on a horse. He's not rushing off on anything that moves. He's just steadily in this very calm, confident manner, just waiting it out. So what this tells me is that you're going to be aware and you're going to know when to hold that information. But also this serves as confirmation for those of you who've been wondering, should I start talking about this with people? Should I? The answer is yes, but only to those who deserve to know. Or only, and it's not even about deserving. Well, in some cases it will be that, because some of you, what I'm picking up right now is that some of you don't have all the support that this thing will require, or experience, or move, or new thing that you want to go towards. Some of you know that, and you know that you'll have family members that will be for it and others are against it, or friends or colleagues or coworkers, depending on what it is you're working on. So use your intuition, because that's what the High Priestess at the end of the day is all about. Using your own intuition, using your own inner strength, and remembering that you, after all, know what's best for you, your life, your family, and your projects. And you'll know when to move forward. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there, and we're going to move on. Here, let me show these to you one more time in case you didn't. And again, I don't know if that's the right distance that I'm showing you the cards correctly. I hope you can see it. Isn't that vent wickedly eerie? Like, if you can hear it, like, it's weird, right? But I like it. To me, it sounds like you're in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, and the windmills are going, you know, that eerie sound. I love it. I like it. Okay, I'm going to get one more card for you. It's like the final anything else advice type of card. Okay, let's see. Oops, too many. Okay, Spirit, any final advice card here for everyone watching this? That's not it. Oh, here we go. Ooh, yeah, see? Okay, yes, definitely. So here you have the Nine of Wands. Isn't that gorgeous? This tarot deck, by the way, this one here is Ember and Aura. It's gorgeous. I love it. Look at the back. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. So this is interesting. So this is, you know, the Nine of Wands In this particular deck, the illustration is a little different, but I'll give you the meaning like the original or traditional deck is really about holding your position, holding steady, and it's about almost completing something. You know, you're almost at the 10. Now, wands is all about physical, raw energy, right? It's about action. It's about movement forward. It's our raw creative energy. It's anything that we create with our own energy, our own resources, our own initiative. That's what wands is all about. So when you get to the 10, that's like the finality of or finalizing or getting to the end of a project or a situation or a conflict. So here in the 9 of wands, you're at that point, whatever this is, whatever we were talking about earlier, this beginning stage, right? It's like the beginning in the sense that it's new, but there is some work happening here that's kind of making you weary, tired. You're at that point where you're like, oh my gosh, can I keep doing this? Do I keep going? What do I do? Should I stop here? Should I, it looks like for some of you, you're going to experience a point this week or whenever you come to this video that you're going to reach a point where you almost want to give up. And so what I want to say to you is, and this came up as the advice here, is that you're almost at the 10. You're almost there. If you need to rest, take a break. Take a break. Don't give up. Because whatever it is you're working on is delicious. It's you. It's about your inner fire. It's something that is so you, that is so connected to who you are. And this is kind of like that final, when you're giving birth and you're at that final push and you're like, oh, hell no. I mean, okay, I don't know, personally no, because I've never had to go through that and I never will. But that's what I would imagine this is like, that final push when you're about to push your baby out and you're going through labor, right? That's what this is. It's that point where you want to give up and you're like, I can't any longer. And then someone, the nurse, the midwife, your partner says, just one more push, just one more. Everything you've got, leave it here. That's what this is. And so you have something beautiful that you've been working, that you've been holding close to the chest or to the vest. And Spirit is saying, yes, do that. Continue doing that until you feel ready to do it. And if communicating this to others is going to make you doubt yourself, then maybe it's best to keep it close to more privately and to yourself a little longer. I hope that makes sense, because I'm picking up here that there are a few of you, a handful of you, who have something that you want to reveal or talk to others about. It could even be just, you just found out you're pregnant or something like that, right? Or whatever it is, again, whatever it is for you. But you're worried, that once you reveal this information or tell whomever about this, that something about telling them might confirm a doubt that you have within, or maybe, that complex, what is it called? Imposter syndrome, I think. Yeah, they have imposter syndrome. And so who is worthy of knowing what you're working on and who is not, and who's ready or who is not ready, and in the meantime, if you feel alone, because a lot of this could be that you just want to share because you feel alone in whatever it is you're creating, right? You feel alone in it because you've been working on it for so long by yourself. And this here confirms it too. You see how she is climbing up that hill to light each wand, and she barely has energy. You see how she's on the ground and she's climbing up and she's just barely able to light that 9th wand there. So you may be tempted to tell someone because you're tired and you just need support. And in some cases, that's going to be the right thing to do. And in other cases, that it's not the right thing to do yet for you. Okay? And just trust the high priestess within you. to inform you intuitively whether or not that's the right move for you, because it's going to be different for all of you. But you know, you have the answers. You know exactly what is the right thing for you to do. Okay, and on that note, again, I apologize about that crazy vent. It's a little out of control today. It's windy here, so it's a little wild. So anyhow, thank you all so much for coming back here for the weekly, and I hope to see you soon. Please remember that I'm also working on Child Tarot. That's a monthly that I'm doing for parents and guardians. So if you want to know, what's going on with your child in terms of their tarot, please come in and check that out. That's I'll leave a link below for that. Also, if you're Scorpio or Scorpio, I just did a solar return video for Scorpios, and I will be doing one for Sag when their birthday comes along. So I'll also leave that link below. Thank you so much, and yeah, have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.